Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I'm going to try and uh, get a link. I don't think I'm able to do this. Share. Okay. Okay. I am live streaming. Oh, okay. Very good. I am. I posted a link on what the Meta Corporation calls Facebook. Um, Usually a place where I am positive, I think, somewhat circumspect. I don't enter into um, sort of political diatribes. I don't enter into I don't enter into political diatribes or critiques or get into arguments or have debates. It simply um, debases any kind of. There are only a few sorts of kinds of communication that are available, right, or accessible, or even useful or appropriate for social media, Facebook, Instagram. It's just not the place to have a discourse about a lot of substantial material. You can have some kind of human interest stories, or talk about what you're eating or how you feel, or maybe even encourage people. But it is not a place at all for political discourse, etc. You might find it's a kind of a place where you might have some truck with like-minded people. The oddity, though, the oddity, and I am circumspect. I have a professional life, both as a sociology professor, with a focus on teaching, and and I'm trying to develop a musical product. So I am not going to lay out all my dark thoughts or weirdness or anything in any remote way on any of these sorts of these kind of platforms. I'm simply not going to do it. I try to be kind of positive. Um, you know, um, Use it for with as I do with a few other people, for accountability purposes, for things like personal growth and development and so forth. I will provide some links below, right, to the what I'm talking about. Okay, but I was censured for a month. Okay, for mentioning, and they're not dirty songs. They're not prurient in any way. There's an expression in the 70s and 80s, and that was popular in the, I say, the kind of the hipper echelons, I call it, of the African American community, in DC, where I cut my teeth, and then later in Richmond, Virginia. Trouble Funk, I mean, not Trouble Funk, the Gap Band, and Trouble Funk, yes, used this expression, and it was about you dropping something on a crew. And I'm just going to leave it there. Or dropping something, having a guy, a woman who was attractive, dropped let's put it this way. a synonym for an incendiary device. You know, that's the best way I can put it without getting in trouble with any of these gormless bots. You know, who seem to have they censor these things, and I'm certainly not going to lose my YouTube video because I use it for educational purposes. Most of this channel wouldn't not have anything to do this. So I just it's very strange. You know, I have a different sub channel on my feed for music, and also for for education is 99% of what I do are class lectures and so forth. So I'm not going to do anything particularly stupid. Oh, I don't know. Stupid might be an offensive word. I don't know. Yeah. In any of these places. But I was kind of astonished by the reaction. I mean, they just tag certain things. I mean, pretty much. And the only thing I would say is this, and this is a cultural analysis, right? Okay. We have basically there may be in some hypothetical world some kind of an alternative to all of this, where there might be some kind of discourse that goes on, or even just something innocuous in conversation. I mean, it was pretty innocuous. There was no way anyone could be offended. You know, I mean, for example, it was akin to, the Spanish word for a firefighter, right? Okay, just to put this into context, is bombero. You know what that sounds like, okay? So, I mean, what are we supposed to reinvent that language? Because so I'm just saying that there's something far afield here in terms of our culture. I mean, our ability to use this technology, to really connect. And to really to just connect. I mean, when automatons, who are tasked with monitoring these feeds, you pick this stuff out of context. Now, these are private corporations. They can do as they wish. The Meta Corporation, or indeed YouTube, or I am now, or any of these, they can do exactly as they wish. And they will. It's just very, very odd. So we're lulled into a false sense of thinking that this is a platform for a sort of a conversation. I mean, when the extremes of people's discourse drives everything, just sweeps clean remotely, anything looking like context or thought. And so I'm going to submit that the community standards of Facebook is racist. They're racist. Okay, I said it. Okay, they're racist. They're trying to excise an entire decade of kind of vernacular. They made it in the popular music. They're trying to eliminate it. And so they are, the accusation is there. Let them fly. Let me get banned. I better stop now. I'm not trying to get monetized here. But you could construe that as, if you talk about, they've taken these creators who are brilliant. I'm going to leave their links for this material below, and turned it in, and referencing them is now a crime or something like it's not a crime. This is a private corporation that can do whatever they want to do, including acts of incidental racism against groups I consider to be great and cultural icons. I'll leave the links to Trouble Funk and the Gap Band in the feed below.